Are you a parent in 2023, this year that we are in? Are you a parent that's trying to lose weight? Are you a parent that's trying to get healthy? Maybe you've got a few kids, maybe you've got one kid and you're just feeling a bit exhausted. Maybe you're not training, or maybe you're just not living the way that you think that you know that you can. If that's you, if you're relying on this one thing that I'm going to be talking about in this video, if you're relying on this one thing to get yourself fit, to get yourself where you want to be, I'm going to say you're probably not going to see the results that you want. Now, that one thing is hope. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is I had a conversation with a client this week, and this client's pretty new I'm pretty new to working with this client, and this client hasn't been doing this for that long, but they want to lose some weight, they want to feel better about themselves, they want to be more active, they want to be healthier. And if you have these same sort of goals, maybe you might have found yourself in this same scenario like this client has, relying on this one thing to get them where they want to be. And this is all revolved around a specific mindset. Now, when it comes to improving your health, improving your performance, your mindset is a vital key element to get right to make sure that you can continue to see the results that you're looking for. And I would actually say that, you could do all the right things physically, but if you haven't got the right mindset anyway, they probably won't last. Now, this client was relying too heavily on something that we would call hope. So the way that the client was actually expressing this was actually, I hope that I will do this. Or when they would talk about the future as to, when they're going to lose weight, and then talking about the actions that, me talking to them about the actions that they need to be doing to make sure that they can be successful with that goal, there was the word hope that popped up very, very regularly. And I want you to try and think about, usually the word hope is very positive, right? So we don't want to take away from the word hope, because you need a lot of hope. You do need a lot of hope. And this is very contextual as to what I'm talking about here. Because usually the term hope is positive. It's what I would call above the line. Okay, so if you know what I mean by above the line or below the line is very positive type mindset. Below the line is very negative. And obviously having hope is a fantastic thing for your future. But if you are relying on hope to get yourself healthier, fitter, to be that parent that you really want to be, I just don't think it works. In my experience, over 13 years working with clients, it's not an effective thing for you to be speaking like, in the term of, I hope, next week that I can do this better. So maybe it's like, if you have a certain target around how much training that you think that you're going to do next week, or how much activity and walking that you're going to do with your kids, and you say to yourself, I hope that I will be able to get this done. By saying hope, you are really leaving it up to chance. It's almost like as if it's not in your control. But the thing about fitness, the thing about improving your health, improving your performance, all of this stuff is actually in your control. And the more that you actually realize it, and the more we start talking about it, which then obviously is someone's mindset, that it just helps so much more. And I see this between not so successful clients and much more successful clients who really achieve their results, is that they are hopeful, absolutely, but the highly successful clients don't just talk in a manner of, okay, well, this is what I need to do, I hope that I can get this done next week. Or that sounds very below the line. This is why it's very contextual as to what I'm talking about. And this is how this client, and I've had many clients do this to me before as well, is that you live in the world of, okay, I hope that I could do that, right? And obviously, me being their coach, I'm going to try to be very solution based, okay? Clients are always coming to me, which is what I want them to do, with their problems, with their troubles, with things that, make this whole goal setting, getting fitter, losing weight, makes it really hard. They give me their troubles, they give me their things that they need to work on, and my job is to give them actions that they can actually go and do to then achieve the result that they're looking for. And that's where hope is not really going to be useful at all. Because when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to you getting fitter, a requirement of hope is not actually there. If you do the right things, if you act in a certain way, you will get what you're after. And I think that's one of the best things about losing weight, getting fitter, improving your health, doing all these different things, is that it is actually in your control. It's not a requirement of, or I hope that I will do this next week. Well, if you're talking in a manner of like, oh yeah, I hope that I have a better week next week, like you're just leaving that up to chance. You're leaving that up to, I would say, up to someone else's decision as to whether you do that. And I know a lot of parents will do that, is the way that we talk. You say that you want to do something, but then you throw out something else to allow that to potentially happen. Meaning that basically you're just giving yourself an out. And if you're giving yourself an out, as soon as it gets hard, you're not going to do it, because being a parent, and I know being a parent, we've got 3 young kids, I work 2 jobs. All of you would be in the same boat as I am. Everything's getting super expensive. Things cost a lot. And if you want to live a certain way, you've got to make a certain amount of money. So you can't rely on hope to be achieving these types of things. And it comes back to the same thing when it comes to your fitness, your health, your activity with your kids. You want to be hopeful in the long term, but relying on hope next week is not going to get you anywhere. So if you are struggling and you are relying on this one thing, I want you to take a second, think about how you talk to yourself. You want to rely on a system rather than hope. So what are the actions that you need to do? And so often, what actions you need to do to be that parent you want to be more healthy, to eat the food that makes you feel good. There are so many things that you already know that you could do, but if you're living in the world of, I hope that I make that decision, it's probably just not going to happen. Like in my experience, it just doesn't happen. If you're living in that sort of mindset, as soon as it gets hard, which inevitably, if you're trying to improve your health or you're trying to lose some weight or get fitter, it's hard. It's not easy. You're going to have every different thing from life throw you a curveball, and if you've got, hope as your mindset, it's just not strong enough. So what would I rely on? Well, this is where I fall back onto having a system. You can call it having a plan. Having a system is significantly important so that when hope fails, when your motivation wavers, when your willpower wavers, all those sorts of things, you've got a system to come back onto. Because that's the thing about weight loss, is that if you really do the right stuff, it's inevitable that you will lose weight. It's not a guess. You don't have to hope. You don't need to live in hope. You can actually just go, right, if I make these decisions and if I do this X, Y, and Z thing and I repeat these things pretty much week in, week out, my body will move in the direction that I'm looking for, whether that's get fitter, be able to run around with your kids, do all those sorts of things. But having a system is critical for the times where you have low hope, okay? Because there are going to be times that you're unmotivated, your willpower's out the door, you don't want to do it, but your system allows you to then test your discipline. And then that's where the key results will really shine. That is where, if you are a parent in 2023, where you will make that jump from being unsuccessful to successful, is doing things when you don't really want to do them, but you know that you should be doing them. And we can't be relying on hope for that. You rely on a system which allows you to be disciplined, and the discipline allows you to do it consistently. So it's not a guessing game. If you want to be fitter and you want to be healthier in 2023, if you're a parent and you're struggling, try and think about your mindset. Where's your mindset? Are you hopeful long term, but if you're relying on hope next week to get it done, it's not going to happen. Get a system in place, and then we can practice discipline, because discipline's just like a muscle. The more you work it, the better you get at it, the stronger it gets. It's not a guessing game. You can do this, but you can't rely on hope. Get your system in place.